Hey everybody, it's Gino here with Gino's Best Movie Reviews, and I'm here to talk to you about the horror comedy Y2K. So let's get right into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it would mean a lot. So this is live, so if I leave things out, forgive me. I will try to put them in the comments if I think of them after. I've got a lot of notes here about this movie, and we're just gonna jump right in. I enjoyed this movie. It's not a masterpiece by any means. It was made by A24. They've got a great track record of making great movies with kind of obscure premises. This movie, without spoiling it, is about what if the Y2K year 2000 computer apocalypse actually happened. So what if that apocalypse was real? Unrealistically. So they went about, oh, okay, well, what if this happened? But in an very unrealistic kind of way, which I didn't expect it to go like that. So it was a little jarring when things that seemed not illogical, just couldn't happen in our world, even with technology, right? This movie was its humor and its tones were very scary movie-like. It wasn't a parody, but it was switching from horror to comedy, the comedy mixed into the horror. So that if you've seen Scary Movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This was an homage to the 90s. It brought me back to when I was a child. These kids in this movie are older than I was at that time, but it still pulled on a lot of nostalgic things from the 90s era. This movie won't be for everybody. I'll just say it right up. Some of this scary movie-ish type of humor, type of even the gore and horror just might not be for everybody. It wasn't as much gore as I anticipated. The gore was, minimal to moderate, but it was more like a lot of it was played for comedy, so that was odd. Now, I do wish I wish the movie took the premise of Y2K and did it in a more realistic way, but that's not what the movie decided to do. So I'm going to judge the movie on what it decided to do, not what I wish it would have done. Some of the unrealistic things, like I mentioned, the kills. Also, there was a bunch of stuff with wires that was very unrealistic. A hedge clipper scene was very unrealistic. The safety features on those devices would not allow for what happened with it to happen. Even if so it wasn't like a disabling of a safety feature. It was more just a genuine design of it. So I thought that was odd. There was some parts where the characters in the movie should have very much heard something or saw something, and they didn't. So that was odd. We got a silent robot sometimes. So it's like robotic types of situations. I don't know if they went over that in the trailer or not, so sorry if I spoiled that. Now, it was funny. It was my type of humor. I found myself enjoying the humor in it. It wasn't like constant laugh out loud, funny, smile on my face the whole time. But there were parts where the humor that they tried worked for me. Now, the cast, a lot of these people you'll be familiar with from superhero projects or other kind of childish, younger person, young adult comedies. They did great. Now, this movie was of the perfect length. It's 90 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's very much a 3-act structure. You can clearly see when Act 1 ends, when Act 2 is beginning, and Act 2 is ending, and Act 3 is beginning. You can feel that if you have any idea about 3-act structures. It's very obvious, but not in a bad way, right? Something happens. The movie's the beginning, then the Y2K, and then they're trying to figure out what's happening, and then they try to resolve it, right? Boom, boom, boom. 3-act structure. There is a cameo in this movie that was more than a cameo. It was more like a supporting role type of cameo. It was odd, but also topical and relevant for what the movie needed. And I enjoyed that. Not the most, but the one big problem I had with this is the very, how do I put this? Where the very small scope of the disaster in the movie. It felt odd to me that, yes, we're following these characters and things like that and all that stuff, but at least we're in a big enough town to where, okay, if this thing's happening at this house, I got to believe that that's happening at least on another house in the neighborhood, if not every single house. So it was kind of, again, an unrealistic way to go about it, but that was like leaps in logic for what the movie had already presented its logic was going to be. And then there were parts where they're trying to sneak around past robots, or they're actively doing something to thwart the plan of the big bad. I don't want to spoil it, but like it's not actively trying to stop it. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But it just feels like there's a lot of things that could have ended this movie quickly. How the guys at how it should have ended YouTube channel are going to have a field day with this movie if they decide to do it. All in all, I would say it's a 5.5 out of 10. Just barely getting that thumbs up from your boy Gino here. All right, that looks like everything that I have to cover on this. Did you guys see it? What did you think? Let me know. I look forward to hearing your thoughts, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.